when he texted, "Are you home? I need to talk." I rolled my eyes and told my friend I'd call her back after another Jordan Feeling Summit. By midnight, I would be blocked on everything but email, and by the end of the week my spare key would be in a padded envelope with a sticky note that said, "Please don't come by unannounced." It started like every other Wednesday. I was half listening to a podcast, half wiping down the counters with a good-smelling spray, waiting for the pasta water to boil. Jordan came in quiet, set his messenger bag down like it was full of sand, and leaned against the doorway with that slumped posture I'd been teasing him about for months. "What's up?" I said, cheerful but already bracing. He didn't talk around it. "I can't sleep. I'm crying for no reason. I've got this pressure in my chest, and my hands keep going numb at work. I don't want to scare you, but I think I need help. I wish I could tell you," I said something like "I'm here," or "Thank you for telling me. I wish I could tell you." I took his face in both hands the way women do in shows when the plot requires grace. What I did was run the faucet too high and say, "Is this about the Q4 head counting again? Babe, everyone's stressed. You've got this. Don't spiral. It's not just work." He was trying to meet me where I lived. Logic lists. "I'm not okay. I called our EAP at lunch. They can get me into a therapist tomorrow morning and set me up with a psychiatrist if I need meds. I'm going to talk to my manager about a short leave." "Leave?" I repeated, like he'd said space program. "You mean like time off? For feelings?" "For mental health," he said, and somehow managed to make the phrase sound like a wrench, not a poem. "It's a thing. FMLA covers it." I checked the policy. I'd never dated anyone who spoke HR. I mistook the vocabulary for weakness. "Baby," I said, "I love you, but you don't need to leave. You need to man up for a few weeks until the storm passes." He flinched like I'd thrown salt in his eyes. "Did you just say man up?" "I'm trying to help." Defensive, my second language. "You're strong. You always have been. You don't need meds. You need the gym. Sunlight. Maybe a cold plunge. We'll do a 5 a.m. challenge together. No screens after 9. Boom. Healed." "I can't cold plunge my way out of whatever this is," he said, very quietly. "And I don't want a coach. I want a partner." I kept going, because the worst part of me hates silence more than it loves people. If you take a mental health leave, what, you're going to sit here all day watching therapy TikToks and making your brain worse? People depend on you. They promote the guys who grind, not the ones who cry in a therapist's office. I watched his face lose something I did not know I'd miss until it was gone, the belief that I was on his side. He went to the bedroom, changed into sweatpants, and came back with a folded piece of paper. "I wrote what I wanted to say," he said, "because I knew I'd chicken out." He read it, glasses low on his nose, voice controlled. "I want to tell you what's going on without scaring you. I'm not sleeping. I'm having panic attacks at my desk. I feel like I should be grateful for everything, and instead I feel numb. I want to try therapy and, if necessary, medication. I don't want to lie to you and pretend I'm fine when I'm not." When he finished, I said, "Everybody has that." Which is like hearing someone say my appendix might burst and replying we all have stomachaches. He nodded like a judge had rendered a sentence, not a verdict. "Okay," he said. "Thanks for hearing me." "I did hear you," I insisted, missing the point so hard it should count as cardio. "And I'm saying don't overreact. The world doesn't have to bend because you had a bad month." He looked at the sink, where the pasta water had finally decided to boil like it had been waiting for a cue. "I'm going to sleep at my brother's tonight," he said. "I'll check in tomorrow after the appointment." "I'm not doing this emotional hostage thing," I said. "You want me to beg you to stay?" He didn't rise. "I want you to tell me you believe me." He took a duffel, 2 t-shirts, the deodorant he actually likes, and left while the timer still had 8 minutes on it. The apartment felt bizarrely bright without him. In the morning, I woke up to a text, "Heading in now. I'll let you know how it goes." 10 minutes later, they think it's a major depressive episode with anxiety. Starting an SSRI. Weekly therapy. I'm filing for 2 weeks off to get stabilized. Then, after a pause, "I love you. Please take care of yourself today." I made an offended noise at my phone like it could hear me. I wanted to reply with a TED talk about how overdiagnosis is the real pandemic. I settled for, glad you got your plan. Let me know when you're done being dramatic. No answer. At lunch, I recapped the conversation for my group chat the way someone live tweets a storm. Me. My boyfriend is taking anxiety meds because corporate emails made him sad. Jess. Girl, be nice. Panic attacks are real. Me. He thinks he's special because he's tired. We're all tired. Leah. Some people actually get help, Sam. Me. I'm helping. I suggested he lift. I sent him Huberman. That night, I got an email, not a text, because he's thorough even when he's hurting. Subject. Boundaries while I get better. I start medication today and weekly therapy tomorrow. I'll be staying at my brother's for a bit to remove immediate stressors. One of those stressors is arguing about whether my pain exists. We can FaceTime Sunday if you're able to talk without minimizing. If not, I'll give you space until I'm steadier. Please don't post about this. If you need support, talk to Jess or your mom. If you need things from the apartment, text me times and I'll make sure I'm out or my brother's here. Jordan. I slammed my laptop shut and told myself he was using therapy words to control me. Then I opened TikTok and watched 3 hours of clips where women made fun of soft boys and sad beige men because algorithm therapy is easier than sitting alone with your cruelty. 2 days later, I came home to a box on the kitchen table with my extra toothbrush, my hairdryer, 2 hoodies, and a keychain I'd bought him after his first big project shipped. On top, my spare key taped to an index card. The sticky note said, "Please don't come by unannounced. Sunday still works if you want to talk." I texted, "You're making me the villain." He replied, "I'm making a plan." On Sunday, I apologized for saying man up and for minimizing. I offered the gym and vitamin D again because I am skilled in the art of apologizing while still being right. He listened, nodded, and said, "I'm not asking your permission to get help." By the next Sunday, his brother had helped him move the rest of his clothes out. He set up mail forwarding. He sent me a spreadsheet with utilities and dates, so there would be no surprises. He called our landlord with me on speaker and said he would cover the fees if we needed to end the lease early. He left my plants, which he knows I overwater, and my blender, which he knows I don't use. He blocked me on Instagram and muted me on iMessage. Not as punishment. He emailed to say it was to keep his nervous system from pinging every time my name lit his phone. My therapist calls it reducing stimuli, he wrote, like he was teaching me a term from a class he'd been brave enough to take. The first time I saw him after the move, I didn't recognize him right away. He was walking out of a coffee shop with a notebook and a calm I hadn't seen in a year. The thick fatigue under his eyes had thinned. He didn't look cured. He looked like a person who chose not to drown where the water was shallow. I was in running shorts and a t-shirt, and the feeling in my throat was not pride. "How are you?" he asked, that reflexive kindness he couldn't turn off even for me. "I miss you," I said, and heard the way my voice made the sentence into a demand. "I miss what we were when we were kind," he said. "I don't miss what we had at the end." Then he said the part that dropped me through the floor. "I told my manager." He was supportive. HR helped me file. Half the team has either done therapy or is doing it. I just didn't know because we all whisper about paperwork and pretend we don't need it. He smiled in this small, rueful way. It's almost like being brave looks different than I thought. I went home and drafted him 10 messages. In one, I told him I was scared because my dad never talked about feelings without a beer in his hand. In another, I insisted I'd change. In all of them, I asked him to consider that I'd had a bad week, not a bad character. He didn't answer any of them. A week later, an email. "I'm going to keep the space. Please don't contact me unless it's about the lease. I'm wishing you well from over here." A month after that, Jess sent me a screenshot of his LinkedIn. New title, same company, a little confetti emoji because the algorithm thinks we should cheer for promotions like birthdays. 2 months after that, Leah spotted him at a street fair holding hands with a girl in a red dress and said he looked soft in a good way. The pang I felt wasn't jealousy. It was clarity. Here is what I learned, painfully and late. Telling someone to man up isn't tough love. It's outsourcing your discomfort. It's asking a person to be less human so you don't have to stretch. He didn't leave because he was weak. He left because he wanted to live. I did therapy, too, the awkward kind where your mouth has to try saying new things until they sound like you. I stopped treating boundaries like personal insults. When my sister texted me at 2 a.m. panic paragraph, I wrote, "Do you want solutions or company?" and felt the ghost of my shame unclench its teeth. Sometimes I open the Notes app and read the list I keep there titled, "Things I Won't Say Anymore." It's simple. Man up. You're overreacting. Everyone feels like that. You'll be fine. Let's just push through. The last time I saw Jordan months later, he was picking up coffee with the red dress girl, whose name is Ava, and whose laugh sounds like she knows how to stand still and listen. He didn't avoid me. He waved. I waved back. When they left, I noticed the sticker on his water bottle, a little brain lifting weights. It made me laugh for real. He looked over his shoulder, caught me laughing, and grinned. Not an invitation. A benediction. He wins because he didn't try to prove anything to me. He got help, followed the plan, protected his peace, and built a life where doing better wasn't a threat aimed at me. It was a promise he kept to himself. I don't get to be in the credits. I get to be the lesson. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. She said man up when he asked for help, and he chose therapy, boundaries, and a better life instead of arguing. Lesson: when someone tells you their house is on fire, bring water or step aside. Don't critique the smoke. If you like this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks, and see y'all tomorrow.